Ever wish you could monitor your vehicles, drivers, and equipment in real time? Are you looking to improve routes, enhance job site planning, and save your business money? Well, with GPS Trackit, your wishes are command. When you integrate GPS Trackit with your company vehicles, you get a 24/7 view of your fleet, so you operate at crazy levels of efficiency. It's money-saving peace of mind that pool service companies deserve. Ever wish every day was Donut Friday? Us too, but we can't help with that. Talk with one of our fleet advisors. No pressure, no hassle. Call 1-844-969-1594 or visit gpstrackit.com to learn more.
Thanks for joining us on another episode of Pool Magazine Podcast. Today we're going to have a chat about pool service software management, and I'm going to be chatting with Brian Primo, co-founder of PoolCarePRO, one of the most popular pool softwares out there in the pool industry. Brian's an industry vet, and he works with companies from coast to coast. It's a pleasure to have you with us today on the show.
I'm glad to be here.
Before we get deep into the weeds about PoolCarePRO, Brian, I'd like to find out a little bit more about you and how you first got started in the industry.
Well, I got started actually in the pool service industry with my business partner, Ken Hales, who was, he had a brother that actually had a pool service company, and they were looking for someone to develop a product for their needs. They were basically a chemical-only service company. And so they reached out to us since we were a development company, and we created a client version of PoolCarePRO way back in, I want to say 2004, 2003, around that time frame. But the problem, to be honest with you, what we ran into, being a client-based product, we're always working on their hardware, diagnostic and things like that, instead of developing, our own product, working on our own stuff. We spent more support time working on his hardware and other people's hardware that we're using our client-based product. So back in 2005, that's when we came up with the idea of developing a web-based, cloud-based product, which in the pool industry kind of had never been done before. And our background is we were in the hotel industry for 25 years. And so we developed software for hotels and resorts worldwide. So obviously our development skills were very versatile. Ken, my business partner, obviously is the CTO for Aerostorm, which is our development company, and PoolCarePRO. And I was always the visionary of where the product needed to go and what direction it needed to go. That's kind of the basis how we started. But again, we started developing a web-based system. And at that point, not a lot of people were doing it in 2005 because we still had the availability of internet connectivity back then. I mean, there's still a lot of dial-up. You didn't have like we do now in the cloud. Our product is in the cloud using Azure services. But back in those days, we had to have our own servers and our own offices, and trying to maintain that, 24/7 was not always the easiest, but we managed it. And then we ended up going to other services out there. And that's kind of how we started in the business on the pool side. But we did a lot of research first before we even got into it to make sure that the pool industry was a valuable business for us. And we realized there was a big need for pool service software. So that's kind of the starting of us.
I'd like to just talk to you a little bit about what I've seen on social media. I mean, I see a lot of people asking, what pool service software pool professionals are using out there. And a lot of guys are saying that PoolCarePRO is like the operating system of their pool business.
Yeah, that's correct. It keeps billing, it does invoicing, it does routing, there's scheduling. So it's kind of the heartbeat of their business.
Well, talk to me about what it does and some of the problems it helps solve.
What it does is one of the big things is, of course, you have all these integrations with other like accounting systems or things like that. We kind of built our own accounting within PoolCarePRO, more on the accounts receivable side. So it's easier to go ahead and bill your customer through one program instead of having to have all these different connectivities with other accounting programs, say, for instance, like a QuickBooks. We can do the accounts receivable. You push a button, it automatically posts their monthly fees, which takes about 10 seconds. And then you push another button, and then it'll go ahead and email say in this day and age, everybody's emailing to your customers, which takes about 5 minutes, and you're done with the billing. It's so simple. One of the things we always encourage everybody is, as soon as you do, like say you do some repair work, create that invoice, because with our mobile site on the field, the service tech can create an invoice out in the field. He can even email the customer at that point, get it in the customer's hands. That way you get your get your money quicker. That's what it is. We want to get your money quicker, not sitting in your receivables. So the billing side has been a big part, but also with the service side we've got a great API that we've created with Google Maps. We've completely redone our integration with Google with our new product version 4, we call it, of PoolCarePRO.
What are some of the features in terms of the data that you're able to track about customers and the bodies of water under management?
Yeah, we can track everything about the customer, about their likes, which is customizable. Everything PoolCarePRO, especially in drop-downs, are all customizable. You want to keep track of their children, their pets, their wife's name, birthdays, things like that. So you have more of a personal touch with them. But it stores all the information regarding the location that you're serving, the site location, what we call it. And so it has everything about your pool, the readings, treatment types, keeps track of, how do I get in? Because a lot of them have security codes or keys and things of that nature. So the service tech, based on the service he's performing, has all that information at his fingertips. So it's easily accessible, and they're able to then do, one of the first things they do is they walk in to the pool, they start the timer when they arrive on the mobile site, and then they go through and do all what the readings are, what treatments they've added. They have the ability to have request items on there, like scrub the pool, scrub the decking, clean out the filters, check the filters. Do we need to add a new filter? Things of that. And that's all at the fingertips of the pool service tech that's out in the field.
Well, mobility is super important these days, and so is getting away from doing some of that paperwork. I mean, how do pool professionals use PoolCarePRO out in the field? And, if I wanted to track chemical data, if I wanted to track how my pools are performing, I mean, what kind of data can I store in the cloud?
You can store everything about that pool itself, because it's all customizable as far as the treatment types that you use, because everybody's different depending sometimes on where you live in the country or even outside of the country. And also you can specify like your readings, the chlorine levels, all of that is stored, and then you can run reports based on information. The service tech on the mobile site can actually look at the past history of what was done to that pool, the treatments, and then they can look to see what could be some issues. Maybe there's some hardware issues going on because it's not circulating the pool good enough. So that's why maybe they are having to add additional chemicals because of circulation issues.
A lot of pool companies these days are looking for better visibility and more organization and easy to use tools that'll help them run a better company. Talk to me about reporting and why a pool company owner needs a software like yours that is custom tailored for the pool industry versus some of the other solutions that are out there.
Yeah, this product is strictly developed for the pool industry, and the reporting goes inside with that. So you can look at, based on a service tech, you can choose, run a report on that service tech, and you can look at the history of the treatments that were added or what the readings have been. And that's important because it's keeping track of that to find out, which pools are maybe using more chemicals than others. Maybe you need to charge additional for those because they're using a lot more, say chlorine, or a lot more, acid, or whatever it may be, solution to better service, your customers. You look at that information and you can make a very quick, response on that.
PoolCarePRO is the service management software you've been waiting for. Designed specifically with pool professionals in mind to optimize your business and help you get more done. These days, pool pros need 4 major things from their management software: power, flexibility, simplicity, and freedom. With over 75,000 pools under management, PoolCarePRO delivers just that. Our web-based application stores all of your customer records in the cloud, allowing for easy access to your clients, the bodies of water you manage, and the services you provide. PoolCarePRO offers a sophisticated suite of pool management tools, including QuickBooks integration and customer notifications to streamline your business operations. From automated billing to online credit card processing, do it all from one convenient hub. Get better visibility over your pool business with robust reports that provide you with meaningful data. PoolCarePRO, pool software designed specifically for pool pros.
I look at a lot of different softwares out there, Brian, and I think what distinguishes PoolCarePRO from other products that I've seen is that you have your own convenient customer portal. Talk to me a bit about that.
Yeah, what we were able to do is we can invite any of your customers that are in PoolCarePRO to a special customer online portal. You invite them online, it sends them their login information that's unique, obviously, to them. And then they can go on and they can look at, past history. They can create their own recurring billing, which is a huge thing to pool service companies. You want to get your money quicker. So we have actually an integration with Authorize.net, and you can use any service provider you want. But with Authorize.net, we write the one interface to them. So it allows you or the customer can go into the portal and you can create your own recurring payment, or you can make a one-time payment. A recurring payment is, say, the first of the month, hit my whatever method of payment I've added for recurring, and either you can put a set amount or you have the option to pay outstanding. And that's done automatically. Once that's in there, the pool service company doesn't have to do anything else. And then they get a report every day on any recurring payments that were processed or declined. And the customer also gets an email of the same thing, how much was charged to their card from that pool service company. Or if it was declined, the pool service company also gets an email notification. So then they can follow up with that customer to get, to have them update their payment information.
Yeah, I've seen it myself. My buddy Cole over at Poseidon Pools is a big fan of your software, and I know he enjoys how easy it is for his customers to be able to log in, make a payment. He doesn't have to print out, mail invoices anymore. That, to me, seems to be a real time saver.
Yeah, absolutely. And the nice thing about it is once it's in there, again, the pool service company doesn't have to do anything. That's the beauty of it. The whole idea, our whole objective is to spend less time with our system and spend more time with your customers. So perfect example is when that service tech leaves that customer site, they should not have to come back and do anything else to pass on, any invoice or things they need to do, because it can be done in the field depending on how you want to use the product.
Yeah, I mean, when evaluating a pool company's needs and who needs to access the software, what is the typical user case scenario you recommend for, your typical pool company out there?
We recommend, depending on the size of your pool service company. Again, if it's under, say, 300 pools, you only need a few people to run the business, really, from a standpoint from the accounting side, because everything is a lot of automatic stuff that happens. Once you've got the data in there, then a lot of stuff, like your billing, can take you no more than 5 minutes to get it completed. Now, again, you want to make sure that you've created the invoices, say you did some repair work and things like that. You've got to enter that in, of course. But that's why we always say get that done immediately. And then so when you send out your statements at the end of the month or beginning of the month, or whenever you do it, you can do them anytime you want. It's already in there and you're ready to go. But as far as the personnel, it doesn't take a lot, to manage the system once you have the data and you have it built. Again, I've got customers that haven't called in 12 years, which is kind of a good thing. Well, I have to touch base with them myself just to make sure they're still out there. But we have a tremendous loyalty with our product. We have version 3, which is our first generation of PoolCarePRO. Now, of course, with version 4 that we released a little over a year ago, we're getting phenomenal reviews on that product.
Yeah, I've heard some outstanding feedback on the new version so far. And I think what stands out about your company in particular from the folks that I've talked to who've been using your software is that these guys have all been customers of yours for years. And that was something that you talked about. I mean, they all told me, Joe, this is the operating system for my company and it's how I run my business. And I wouldn't think of switching. Now, the one common thing that they all said that was the number one factor that they remained a customer for so long was the support that they get from you. And the same thing with Cole. I mean, he said any issues, you and your team are always there. You're responsive. You know his account, his business, and that there's a relationship there.
Yeah, absolutely. The nice thing about it is say within our product, they hit the feedback button, which goes to everybody in our company support. So everybody sees that whether they're in support or not, they still receive the feedback and what the issue is. And then we look at it. And of course, with this technology, we all have our phones, whatever, we can respond pretty quickly to the needs. Usually it's more of a question, how do I do something? Versus having an issue with the product, especially version 3. It's been around a long time. We have very few little issues with that. Version 4, of course, is our newer product, so some things do arise, but we do respond very quickly. I think our response time is incredible. Usually we respond, if I can look at some of my reports, we are usually responding within 30 minutes of a call.
Well, that's great. I mean, the one major issue that comes up, Brian, with any company owner that's looking to switch to a new platform is, how easy is it going to be to get up and running and get my employees using this? What's the support like from their end? I mean, typically, what's your onboarding process when you sign up a new pool company?
When we sign up a new company, usually they've got some data, some existing data in most cases. So we have the ability of, they enter the data into like an Excel spreadsheet. They send it over to us and we import it for them. So they're able to get their basic information. We do not charge additional for this setup process. And a lot of this, all of our training we do online, similar to using Zoom, similar to that, we use Ring Central, which has Zoom built into it. And we do our online training. So once the data is in there, the training process is usually no more than 2 to 3 hours. And they're up and running and ready to go and ready to get their bills out the door.
I think a major attractive aspect of the software is the pricing structure, which is very different than other management softwares and apps that I've seen out there. Talk to us a bit about that.
Based on the number of users you have is how we base our pricing, because $39.95 under 3 users, that usually you come into probably about 200-300 pools. So that kind of fits the company's revenue. We're not trying to break their bank by any means. We want them to be successful, just like they want us to be successful. So we have a long-term relationship. So 3 users is $39.95 a month. It's subscription-based. There are no contracts. So if they're not happy, they can leave at any point in time. They just need to give us 30-day notice. Then it jumps up to 10 users. It's $49.95 a month. And then so on and so forth goes up $59 and then $69. And then we have an unlimited number of users is like $130 a month for unlimited number of users. You can have as many customers as you want. We don't charge you based on number of customers, or we don't charge based on number of services that you perform. It's just based on the number of users that actually use PoolCarePRO, from the administrative staff to the service technician out in the field. And that's how we do our pricing. Very simple, very straightforward. We don't charge anything additional. You've got authorize.net. They have their fees, but that is part on their side.
Yeah, I think that's what's really attractive about your software in comparison to a lot of the other stuff that's out there, is that, it's a low cost for, getting key members of your office up and running using the software. It's kind of white glove on your side because you're going to port all the data over for them and make sure that they get up and running using the software, because it's in your best interest to make sure that, it's kind of a seamless process for them. And that's what's really appealing about, switching over to a software like PoolCarePRO in comparison to some of the other stuff where it's the onus is on you to do everything,
Yeah, and so we've made it a priority since day one that they know who we are, they know our names, and we have such a great reputation out there, again, like for support and also for easy to work with. To be honest, we tell it the way it is. We don't give them any BS line. This is what our software does. We want to make sure it's going to fit their needs, because I don't want them coming back at us and saying, we're not happy, this is not what you told us.
Getting a demo, what's the best place to go? Your website?
Yeah, the best place to go would be to PoolCarePRO.com. We have a great 30-day trial. It's the full product. There is nothing held back from it, except for obviously credit card processing because you don't have that integration yet with your provider. But other than that, it's the full product. We encourage people to use it. There's some videos that kind of helps them through the beginning stages of it, kind of an overview of the product. But we're here to schedule any kind of overviews during the trial process. And then once they subscribe, then we give them a 2 to 3 hour online training class. And usually they're ready to go by then. Usually even an hour for some people is more than enough.
Well, that's great. I mean, if you guys want to try it out, go to PoolCarePRO.com, take a free test drive. There's no charge for your credit card. And if you have any questions, reach out to Brian. He's a good one to get in touch with if you have any questions about the software. I really enjoyed our discussion today, Brian. Thank you so much for getting together with us to talk shop.
Sounds great. Thanks for having us. We appreciate it.
Ever wish you could monitor your vehicles, drivers, and equipment in real time? Are you looking to improve routes, enhance job site planning, and save your business money? Well, with GPS Trackit, your wishes are command. When you integrate GPS Trackit with your company vehicles, you get a 24/7 view of your fleet, so you operate at crazy levels of efficiency. It's money-saving peace of mind that pool service companies deserve. Ever wish every day was Donut Friday? Us too, but we can't help with that. Talk with one of our fleet advisors. No pressure, no hassle. Call 1-844-969-1594 or visit gpstrackit.com to learn more.